So before we get started in section 1.2, in statistics, it's important that we ask the right questions. So some of the questions that you would want to ask when you are encountering statistics in the real world is, how are the numbers produced? Where does the data come from? Why can we trust them? Or can we? And then what does the data actually tell us? What kinds of conclusions are we going to be able to make based on the data? So a goal that I have for you in this course is to become more aware of how data are collected and how statistics are used to make interpretations. Well, I want you to look at this example of how looking at data can sometimes be misleading. So I want you to take a look at this map. So this is a map of the United States with counties with the highest kidney cancer death rates shaded in. So I want you to imagine what could be causing the higher kidney cancer death rates. So I want you to look at where these are occurring across the United States and think what could possibly be explaining this. Well, a few of the things that I came up with were a lot of these counties seem to be in rural areas, and so maybe they had less access to medical care. Or perhaps being in those rural areas, there's more farming, and so maybe there are pollutants that potentially could be causing these higher death rates that don't occur in cities. Or also, we see across the United States that rural areas tend to have older populations, and so maybe older populations just are more likely to get cancer. All of those could be an explanation for what we're seeing in this graph. But I now want you to look at the United States where the counties with the lowest kidney cancer death rates are occurring. You'll notice that it's in a very similar part of the country. So all of those things that I came up with that could be explaining the higher kidney cancer death rates would now be in that same explanation for why there were lower kidney cancer death rates. So if we look at this other set of data, then we seem to have some conflicting results. So what's going on here? Well, when we're dealing with percentages, the population density is going to make a big difference. If you're in a really small population county, just having 1 or 2 kidney cancer death rates would make you a much higher percentage. And then having 0 or 1 would also make you much lower. And so here we are comparing percentage of occurrences. And that's just not a great thing to be looking at when you have such a different amount of variability in the population density across the United States. So be careful to draw conclusions when you don't have anything to actually base this on. How are the numbers produced, and can we trust them?